What's going on, guys? So it's getting to be that time of year. Spring weather is upon us in a lot of places. I get my fair share of spring weather days, even though I get some snowy days here and there. But in this video, I've got 10 fragrances that aren't going to be your typical recommendations for spring in 2023. This is not run-of-the-mill stuff. We have some designers, we have some niche, and we have one Middle Eastern cheapie. We've got a couple decently new releases, some stuff that's a little more on the unique side, some that are a bit more situational. We've got a little bit of everything, something for everyone in this video, so stay tuned. Before we jump into the video, are you interested in more than just fragrances? Have you subscribed yet to the TLTG Vlogs channel? On this channel, we're talking about fitness. My training shoe reviews have moved from this channel to over there. Fitness content, motorcycle content, there's food content of all things, believe it or not. There's thrifting, there's retro game hunting, there's video game play. There's a little bit of everything. There's something for everyone. These other hobbies of mine, including electronics reviews. So make sure to subscribe down in the link in the description. I also have an iCard pop up in the top right hand corner of the screen. Let's get into this video. Starting out with an extremely underrated flanker in the Invictus line, we are talking about Invictus Platinum, last year's release. Stuff's actually pretty good. It's a little medicinal and minty green at the top, dries down a bit more herbaceous, and then you will get a little bit of that sweet aquatic tie-in from the original's DNA. I've grown to really enjoy this one. This is good stuff. This kind of screams spring. Performance is fantastic. I would label this more of a casual everyday scent. It doesn't have all of the playful sweetness of Invictus, but it does maintain a little bit of it. There's a woody tone, like I said, a very deep herbal green feel to this with some fruitiness. It's actually very solid. It's really engulfing the airspace right now. So this is one that I encourage you to get out and try. Anywhere they sell Paco Rabanne fragrances, they'll probably have a tester on the counter. Get out there, spray it on your skin, spend a little time with it, walk around, and then jump online and grab it, because I'll have links to all these fragrances down below and the best prices I can find anyway. But to start us off, something a little on the unique side for an Invictus flanker. It's Invictus Platinum. The next choice is actually my scent of the day. Mass appealing with a bit of a deeper scent profile and character to it because of the use of incense. This is from Mancera. This is called Aqua Wood. Really, really digging this one. I have 5 sprays on currently, 4 around my neck, and then 1 for me to enjoy off my hand. It's a little airy and ozonic, fresh fruity, not too sweet fruity, with a nice warm ambery tone, soft wood backbone, and a nice light smoky incense feel. Performance is really good on this one. Nobody really talks about this one. That's why it fit this topic so perfectly. I've kind of dubbed it perfect for springtime. I've been waiting for this type of weather to really start wearing this one. Not that anything was wrong with it for the winter, but I think it's just a fantastic, deeper scent profile that still has a lot of freshness and mass appeal to it for the springtime. So definitely look into this one. Get a sample if you haven't tried it yet. That's Mancera Aqua Wood. Next is for you iris lovers out there. Shout outs to my buddy Dave Callie from the channel Callie's Groom Room. He was supposed to be sending me a decant. He ended up buying me a 50 ml bottle and sent this my way last year. One of my favorite pickups of last year. It is from Narcisco Rodriguez. This is for him, Bleu Noir Parfum. It's up there with some of the best designer fragrances ever created as far as iris. This is so magically powdery. If you don't like powdery, beware. This is a very powdery fragrance, but it's so good. It will remind you of the Dora line. It's that type of iris, that floral, lipsticky, very waxy and powdery designer iris smell. You're going to get a little bit of freshness up top. There's a fresh, spicy accord that comes along with the iris, and there's this nice suede accord that offers kind of this buttery, leathery feel as it starts to dry down. This is kind of like if the original Dior was intensified. Not Dior Intense, because that's a much sweeter fragrance than this. This kind of falls in between Dior and Dior Intense, I think would be a good way to put it. Because you get a lot of the balance from the original Dior, and then you also get some of the sweetness and a little bit of a leathery feel from the Intense without being so sweet, because it's more of a suede accord. It's got that fuzziness to it. A good suede accord can provide. And performance is awesome for me. I get well above average in longevity, and this will choke you out if you get in the car with me. You know, I've had that experience. Buddy of mine choked him out. George Zaharoff, as a matter of fact, for those of you wondering, had got in the car with him wearing this, and he had to put the window down. Was choking him out with just like 4 sprays. So this stuff's really strong off my skin. Definitely worth getting your nose on. If you're a fan of iris, you should really try this one in the spring. This is for him from Narcisco Rodriguez, Bleu Noir Parfum. This next fragrance is my first experience with this house, Frapin Cie, I believe is how you say it, C-I-E. This has been around for many years at this point, And it's one of the more complex and deep casual fragrances I've ever put my nose on. This is just a fun fragrance. This is called 1270. I know they have an extreme flanker. I've never tried it personally. Love all the tongue twister, the design work. They got a little fleur-de-lis in the middle. This is really, really good. I've been spending time with it recently. Haven't done a full review yet because it's so deep. This is going to take several wearings to really understand the fragrance completely. There's a woody tone at the top. There's a coffee note that settles in. There's some herbs. There's citruses and fruits. There's a little bit of florals. There's a lot going on here. But it doesn't strike me as a very serious fragrance for all of the layers it has to peel back and the depth and complexity of the scent profile. This is a fun fragrance that's going to smell different every time you go back to it. That's been my experience. If I smell it now and wait 5 minutes, when I go back, I'm going to get a different note or different accord. Not the easiest to pick notes out of, but it makes for a fun accord guessing game, if you will. This is a fun fragrance to test your senses on. It's a great wear. Performance is well above average without being a beast. I'll be spending more time with this one this spring, and I feel like you should really get your nose on this one too. This is P. Frapin Cie. This is 1270. So I went through my decant, and shout out to my buddy Randy, the channel Fragrance Dude, had let me know Joma Shop had this for, it was either 55 or 59. I don't remember what I paid. I'll have the link down below. For a 75 ml of Ralph Lauren's Polo Bleu Parfum. So I was a big fan of this release last year. I still can't make my mind up on, is this better than Gold Blend? Because I touted Gold Blend as the best Polo Bleu. But this, they battle each other back and forth. I would call them 1A and 1B. It maintains that original DNA. You even get a little bit of that cute, watery cucumber type of feel from the original Polo Bleu Eau de Toilette. I get a little bit of that. I get some of that fresh greenery. I get that marine tone, that aquatic, very blue feel. This is a very aquatic blue type of smell. But here it's refined. I don't know what the oil concentration is, but I equate the uniformity of this scent profile and the richness to kind of how I feel about Bleu de Chanel Parfum. No, they don't smell alike, but I would wear them in the same situations, whereas I think this is another great blue fragrance to wear with a suit and tie. If you're like me and you're a big fan of blue fragrances, this and Bleu de Chanel Parfum I think are the two best ones for if you're in a daily work gig where you wear suits or Oxfords and you like mass appealing stuff that'll get some compliments and everything, but you don't want it too loud. You want room to be discovered, but you want long lasting on your skin. That is what this scent profile and performance does for me. This is awesome. If you haven't tried this one yet, I encourage you to get a sample of this fragrance. Again, that is the newest flanker in the Polo Bleu line. This is Polo Bleu Parfum. One of the best fresh niche indie fragrances to come out in a long time. A authentic and believable watermelon juice smell with a lovely ginger note. I get a lot of the crisp, bright, and spicy ginger on my skin with some soft woods. This is from MMASI. This is called Into Me. This is the men's fragrance. We're starting to move into that weather. That's why it's in the spring list. This wasn't a great choice for the winter. It's not a real strong cold cutter. It's so fresh. But I do get above average performance in the slightly warmer weather. That's why it's ideal for spring, summer, fall. This is a great 3-season daily wear fragrance. Quality's top tier. That's one of the beauties of this. When it comes to just a lovely fresh fragrance with a little bit of body in the base, the woods and the ginger really provide a little bit of oomph to it, I guess you could say. Whereas there's other citruses besides the watermelon in the top, but it definitely dominates the fragrance. You can get a sample of this one. I would encourage you to do so. You can get samples, you can get travel atomizers, or you can get a bottle. Shout outs to Dr. Shimaka, who owns the brand. She is a wonderful, wonderful human being that is putting out excellent, excellent fragrances. The women's is even better than the men's, guys. A lot of creamy florals and coffee, and yeah, I believe it has some patchouli as well. My wife wears it pretty often. It's magnificent. So any ladies watching this or guys that like florals, check out the women's with the pink label as well. But you can't go wrong with the men's version of MMASI Into Me. Now, this is going to be a little bit more situational of a fragrance in the springtime, admittedly. I'm so glad to have a bottle. I have my decant sitting right there. My buddy, Unaveraged Joe, sent me this way. He'd got a great deal on some testers. And, yeah, Gucci Guilty Absolute. You know, over the years, you've probably heard a ton of people tell you how challenging and daring of a fragrance this is. I've got stuff that blow this out the water and challenge. If you like dry leather, it's a dry leather note. Still has some freshness from the greens. I believe there's a cypress note in here. And woods. It's very bright green, woodsy, with this dry animalistic leather, like a rawhide, dry rawhide type of smell. I could see where if you're used to stuff like this, how it could be a little challenging, but if you're starting to dive into the enthusiast level, you've amassed a decent collection, you've got some niche and so on, you've tried ouds. I'm not saying you got to try oud to enjoy this, but you've got more challenging stuff than this in your collection. It's been discontinued from what I understand. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I believe that's why that Bloomingdale's was clearing out all their testers. If you can find that, you can still find this one for a decent price online. I'll have links below because I've seen them anywhere from $80 to $100 for 90 ml online. And look, for what you get, it's a great fragrance. The reason I say more situational, I wouldn't consider this the best daily wear unless you're the type that likes to really pronounce himself when you walk into a room with your fragrance. You're a very assertive personality and you want a very assertive scent profile. That is this and then some. Now, as far as special events, special occasions, evenings where you'd like a conversation piece as your fragrance, this is one of those. You don't have to spray it real heavy because it is very strong off the skin. Again, not for everybody. I understand why it's polarizing. I just don't think it's the challenging, daring fragrance that many people have painted it to be over the years. It's an absolute work of art. My favorite Gucci fragrance. So happy to have a bottle now of Gucci Guilty Absolute. Now this one's pretty new to my collection. It's a little herbal and boozy, woodsy with a bit of freshness. It's a strange one, but good strange. I'll be wearing this one in the next couple of days. This is from the brand M.INT. Let me show you guys the logo on the bottom of the bottle. It's called M.INT, M.INT. And this particular fragrance is called, it's upside down, Flight Mode. So this aluminum sleeve is actually magnetic. I'm sure that's loud coming through the mic. I apologize, but I just love doing it. Very satisfying sound too. And then the presentation on this is just absolutely stunning. So don't know what the deal is with the ribbons, but if I can get it to really focus in on this mesh that they have going on, that would just be awesome. Try to block my face. Maybe it will do so. There we go, it's starting to focus in. There's kind of like this mesh wrap to it. Very interesting texture. It offers a great tactile feel because the experience with fragrances, especially niche fragrances, need to be more than just the scent. It has to be the look, it has to be the feel, it has to be the aroma, it has to be the overall feeling when wearing it. And this one evokes something different from every other fragrance in my collection because I don't have anything that smells like this. It's interesting that the rum doesn't make it overly boozy or overly warm. Kind of dries it out. It's almost like a dry smell, and it could be mixing with the woods, and I believe there's a particular balsamic note in here as well. This is very unique, but very everyday. A good conversation piece that you can get away with wearing every day with great performance. I'm going to be doing a full review at some point in the next couple of weeks with this one. I want to spend a little bit more time with it, but I have been digging this one. I want to explore more from this house because this particular fragrance really impressed me. A house I'd never heard of. They're out of France. Pick this up from Fragrapedia House. I'll have a link down below. You can get samples. I would encourage you to sample this one. Buy a sample. You can get discovery kits as well, but it's worth trying. If you want a little bit of a different olfactive experience, it's a great everyday fragrance. It really doesn't smell like anything I've tried. I'm not saying there's nothing else out there that doesn't smell like this, but again, nothing I've tried. Really, really good stuff with a just gorgeous presentation. This is from the brand M.INT Parfums. This is called Flight Mode. Next is our lone cheap Middle Eastern fragrance in the videos because I feel like the way this scent profile is done, it's a little bit different from just recommending ombre leather because it has some of the metallics and florals of ombre leather Parfum while still being very bright leather like the original ombre leather. Some of you know where I'm going with this. It's probably in the thumbnail. Afnan Rare Carbon. Big fan of this one. Springtime, ideal weather for this. If you like wearing leather on a daily basis, there's a lot of freshness and brightness to the scent profile. Like I said, it's ozonic, a little metallic. It's fresh and soapy floral with a lot of bright, slightly animalistic leather, a little bit of sweetness. God, I love this fragrance. I love this fragrance so much, I decided I'm not buying a 50 ml of ombre leather and ombre leather Parfum. Once I ran out of my decants, I had got this. And this scratches the itch for that scent profile. It's that good. I know a bunch of people have asked me about amber and leather from Maison Alhambra. Haven't got around to it yet. There's a bunch of different ones. Brassassi's version that's super popular. I really don't need to try them because I like this so much, but I will give them their fair shake eventually. But this one had to make the video because it's the leather fragrance that I'll be reaching for this spring that I thought would be a great talking point for you guys. You can get this one in the 30 some odd, low 40s range. Very affordable, great performer. I did a full review not that long ago on it. It's been a little while, but I really dig this one. It was fine in the cold, but it's going to shine in the spring because it's got a lot of freshness. Bright leather, fresh and metallic. It's good stuff. Get your nose on it if you haven't yet. This is Afnan, Rare Carbon. Last but not least, our final fragrance, our final niche fragrance. This one, kind of an Invictus killer. It's a better scent profile to me. It's more fresh, minty, and fruity. It doesn't have the darkness and the florals. I would say it's got like, you'll be a little reminded of Invictus when you smell it. It's like a 60% tie-in, maybe. I don't think they were necessarily going for it. It's more of a blue fragrance, really. But it's from Sora Dora. This is called Gladiator. So Gladiator, for me, is just amazing. It's a pure parfum. And it's not a big room filler in projection. It's not like going to reach across the room and grab somebody when you walk in. It's all about the magic in the sillage. The density for this scent bubble is where it shines. This lingers, this leaves a trail, this makes an impact when you walk in someone's space. When you leave and walk by someone, it's a strong trail that's following you. It's so fresh and inviting with a lot of depth and strength to the base of it. There's a lot of woods here. Like I said, it's minty fresh. There's citruses, there's fruits, without being super sweet. This is so good. I did a shorts video not that long ago about this one being an Invictus killer. I would take this 10 times out of 10 from Invictus. It's pricey for a 50 ml, but damn, this is a good fragrance. Again, I encourage you, get a sample or get a discovery set. Try it for yourself. Not everybody's going to feel the way I do, but if you want something a little bit different as far as fresh fragrances with some power in their base, you might want to check out Gladiator from Sora Dora. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What in this video have you tried before? What do you have? What did you pass on? Did any of these kind of spark your interest and intrigue you to where you're like, you know what? I need to get my nose on this one or that one or these three or whatever. I'd love to read about it down in the comments. Again, I got links to all of these down below if you want to check them out. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these, can you give them a spray now? I'm pretty confident you'll thank me later because it's not your average picks for the spring for sure. Have a good one, guys.